Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, October 23rd, 2021, 3 p.m. Eastern. I wonder what it would be like on this planet if we all celebrated our own existence. By doing this, we have already caused waves of joy in people's hearts all around this world. After we've touched that one person's heart, and they have touched another, and another, and another, with only 6 degrees of separation, we have enlightened the world many times over. So feel the appreciation we all have for you. Thank you. You rock the house. When everything is about on this planet and this universe and all the extensions of universes is about frequency. And it's about mastering. That's why being these bodies is so phenomenal. And learning how to tap into an abundance of peaceful thoughts. Peace is a high frequency. We aren't interested in engaging in caustic interaction and combativeness and hatred and anger and destruction. In truth, we are all spirit. And these bodies have been projected by the mind, which itself originates from spirit. If the wrong identification ceases, there will be peace and permanent, indescribable bliss. Ramana Maharishi. In truth, we are all spirit. The body has been projected by the mind, which itself originates from spirit. If the wrong identification ceases, there will be peace and permanent, indescribable bliss. The greatest secret in this life is knowing how to be completely at peace no matter what occurs. This does take mastery. It is also easy enough for any teenager to do. When we are living fully in this 3D world, truly open, honest, and intimate with others, we will be forced into a deep discovery of peace. The secret is knowing how to be completely non-attached to whatever we find, because again, everything is an emanation of the mind. This world is real and unreal. It's like a 3D dream. An overflowing abundance of peace, love, and prosperity consciousness is inside each and every one of us at the core of our being. There's no need to look outside our bodies for it. Everything on the outside is a distraction from this source. This discovery is the golden path to the ultimate life, and it is found instantly by making the simple decision to look within. Not just a glance here or there, but a constant looking, an introspective that bubbles moment to moment with inquisitive curiosity. Be constantly curious about yourself, and you'll soon discover how to get beyond the traffic of your mind. When you look inside yourself, know that there is nothing to be afraid of. All you'll find are thoughts. It's all a bunch of thoughts. Everything we experience is made up of thoughts. And the only reason we suffer ever is because we forget these thoughts are not real. When we get attached to them, they seem real, yet are not. Attach only to what's real, and all suffering fades away. It's good to remember that this thought you're thinking right now is merely an electrical impulse bursting into between your ears. Now it's gone, and a new one has arrived. It is a constant, continual flow. When you try to hold on to any one of these bursts, it's like forcing yourself to hold your finger on an electric fence. Simply let go and look towards where the source of energy is. That all these thoughts are coming from from discovering the roots, can you understand the tree? All these thoughts are coming from where they're coming from. Only from discovering the roots can you understand the tree. If you want to take the super fast track to deep inner peace, try this out. Stop doing everything how you normally do it, and simply practice letting everything be as it is. And as you're doing this, letting everything be as it is, this will help you to look with gentle eyes on yourself, the world, and everything in it. Be quick to accept yourself and others, and be very slow, very, very slow to criticize. Try to understand others instead of needing them to understand you. Let go of having to be right and choose instead to be free. Practice just what you've read, what you've heard. And you'll feel a dramatic change to begin to occur. Love and centering are one phenomenon. They are not two. If you have known love, you cannot be anything but centered. The very experience of love will make you centered. Okay. When we go on this inner quest, looking deep inside ourselves, choose to be wild, free, and unguarded. This is the only way that we will be able to unravel ourselves. See what is truly beneath your socialized conditioning. Don't stop at the mental chatter your mind regurgitates. Conditioning from childhood is deep with every one of us. It has created many contractions inside the body that we are unaware of. This unawareness is what perpetuates the flow of negative, challenging thoughts and feelings. The only way to freedom is to bring total awareness to these hidden parts. Best way to find your hidden, contracted parts is to engage deeply in every relationship you have, especially the ones you're the most afraid of. Be deeply intimate with everyone. This is the only way you can intimately know yourself and discover all your hidden parts. Once you get to know yourself, you'll feel this ever-flowing current of stillness at your very core. This stillness arises from doing nothing. Focus on nothing. No thing, nothing, as much as you can. This life is not about accomplishing anything. It's about discovering your very enlightened nature, which is something you already are. How can you accomplish something you already are? Now you can understand why so many spiritual seekers easily get confused. How can you accomplish something you already are? Only when you can be intimately open and unguarded with everyone, you will find total peace within. It really isn't that hard to do. It's actually quite fun. Yet first, you must choose to truly dive into this core essence of you, through the muck in your mind, into the vast, deep presence. Only from this space will you find peace with everything and everyone in this world. This experience is always available if we are open, willing, and available to the universe. That's why practicing being unguarded is so profound. It allows us to intimately touch the entire creation. It allows us to touch the entire creation intimately. Life-changing peace happens instantly when we realize again and again and again that we are an eternal being who cannot cease. An infinite soul who is ever presently aware and lives behind this roller coaster ride of thoughts rolling through our minds. Whatever our mind is thinking about, thinks it's vastly important, is constantly worrying about, is simply not worth getting caught up in. This eternal being inside of us is much bigger and better than any thought or experience we will ever have. Focus on that. Because what we focus on energizes, grows, and expands. So focus on the eternal being inside you and how much bigger it is and better than any thought or experience you will ever have. Here's a question. What are you afraid of? Deep, everlasting peace happens when you can approach your fears with an authentic smile. When you can look at each fear in the face and say, thank you, with love in your heart. You've mastered it. When you can look each fear, no matter how paramount, no matter how large it seems to you, when you can look each fear in the face and say, thank you, with love in your heart, you have mastered it. Take on each fear as if it was your long-lost brother who has strayed from home. Simply point it back to the light of your being, where pure stillness resides. And this contracted, non-relaxed state will dissolve in time. So for 24 hours, the next 24 hours from now, remember that you are inherently good. There is nothing bad where pure stillness resides. And this contracted, non-relaxed state will dissolve in time. There is nothing bad, wrong, or evil about any of us. Our thoughts are not a reflection of who we are. Passing clouds cannot change the vastness of the sky. Turn your attention inside towards your natural state of goodness. This is not something you're good at, all right? Or something you did that was good. If you can write it down, it can disappear, so it does count. This goodness is this eternal consciousness that abides in the eternal gap between your thoughts. This goodness that you naturally are is permanent. There's nothing you can do about it. Your purpose is to discover it, respect it, honor it, share it, so that you can know it. Knowing your inherent permanent goodness brings about an unstoppable joy. Experiencing this joy brings a taste of total freedom. Knowing yourself as this unbounded, joy-filled freedom is the absolute gateway to bliss and absolute inner peace. So have fun with it. Now remember, it's not something that you did good. It is inherent in all of us. So many people think they know what love is. Love is infinitely patient and intentionally kind. It is the deep, sweet nectar found inside your very soul. Love is this softness that opens your heart and quiets your mind. It accepts every aspect of who you are and who you are not. Love knows you, believes in you, and clearly sees exactly where you are in your life. Love has no limitations on what is and is not acceptable inside you. There are no boundaries around what love can and cannot approve of. It welcomes all your parts, inviting in the worst aspects of you with a warm, fuzzy heart and joyous, sparkling eyes. Love is the light that shines the way in the darkness, in the darkest hour of our lives. It ignites the fire that guides our spiritual path, beckoning us to rise up and out from our darkest misery to surrender and merge with great healing source of our being. Love is always fearless, always courageous, and always present. It is never wrong, never misguided, and is never, ever afraid. It is the perfect state that cannot be improved upon. It is always accessible, always available, and always, always, always here, now. Love is always generous, completely abundant, and constantly giving to others as well to itself. It is like the sun, an inexhaustible outpouring of life energy. It shares its bliss for the pure, exhilarating joy of it. It is the eternal, infinite, inexhaustible source of life. Deserve even more love, especially when you don't feel worthy of it. It invites you to surrender all your resistance and remember how perfect, sacred, and utterly lovable you truly are. Love feels all of your pain with you, holding your hand through your life's most panicked moments and never letting go. Love honors your deepest wounds, helping you to see how they are and how they are your greatest teachers. It is absolute empathy, sympathy, has the most profound compassion possible for you. Love breaks down the walls of what we think is not possible. It inspires us to step into our life mission and highest potentiality. Love is the flame that ignites the great bonfire within us, needed to burn through our limiting beliefs so we can manifest the most amazing life imaginable. Life is the most amazing experience that we can have in this entire universe. It is the most gentle, exquisite feeling that is conscious, sacred, sweet, and tender. It holds you so softly and with such a strength that it sends tingles all the way up your spine. Love is the cure for every physical disease, every mental illness, and unbearable emotional wounding we may have. Love opens and relaxes every tension, immediately liberating us from all anxiety and worry. Invoking love into our body, it heals us instantly, awakening every cell to remember absolute perfection. Love is the doorway to eternal life. Love is devotion itself, fully committed to expanding our hearts into our lives. Love is the deepening and softening of our breath that awakens the healing purpose of our soul. It is the permanent, authentic smile within us, forever giggling at our worries, knowing the deepest possible joy is the foundation of our existence. Love paves the path for the greatest orgasmic experience of our lives. It transforms ordinary sex into a sacred healing experience. Love unites lovers to merge and melt into the one divine source. It is the most personal, intimate, and deeply sensual experience we can have. Love is the spiritual energy that brings the highest form of life into existence. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I am sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies. These are not our bodies. I mean, we're not the body. We are not the mind. We are not the ego. We are not the name. personality or the character. We are the God. Pure source consciousness. We are the kingdom of God. We are the God source within these bodies. So does it make sense that we're intimately connected with these bodies while we're in them? To stress and fear and anxiety, worry, wonder, all of these things that we're all attracting. The body attracts them. So like the fears, those are the stresses. When you fear, you worry, you stress. Causes the body to become very rigid, stiff, not flexible. And of it, more is brought in. And the interesting thing is that they're just all thoughts. Fear is a thought. Everything begins with a thought. Once we recognize and understand this, we'll begin to understand the fact that then if these are just thoughts, how did they get the power? How do they come into reality and so that I'm preoccupied with them on a daily basis? You give them the power. You, all of us, give them the power. And most of the time we aren't even aware that we give them the power. Very few understand that we do give them the power. If you give them the power, you bring them, you move energy into form. Those thoughts, they're created into reality. So all your fears, worries, stresses, anxieties are up to you. So when you do bring them in, face them, and say thank you to them with love in your heart. Peace. And they'll be gone. Acknowledging them. But most of us ignore them. So the fear builds and stress builds, anxiety builds, worry. And all we need to do is face them, thank them, love them, and be at peace with them. This way the body relaxes. All these thoughts and stuff that come in, doesn't have them. You relax the body, and you literally thank all your fears, worries, stresses, and anxieties. And you'll know when they're gone. They leave instantaneously. Then you will start experiencing peace. And it won't be from out there. It never is from out there. It's always from in here. And you are the only one that can do that. No one else can do it for you. Only you can do it. And when that happens, the body goes into quiet and peace. Floats. There's no stress. You still the mind and the ego and the subconscious mind. You still them, which means that you leave them alone. And all of those fears, worries, stresses, anxieties are gone. They will leave you. And since we're in the habit through the ego mind of continually replacing the ones that leave us, we can end up aborting that effort as well. And when this happens, you find yourself focusing on your breath, your breathing. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth is probably one of the most powerful things you can do to relax the body and focus yourself in the now. And when you're in the now, That's bliss. You don't have the noise chatter, the mind chatter. You don't have the worries, the fears, the stresses, and anxieties. You have stepped out of it. Do they exist? Do you want them to exist? Because they are all illusions. They're created by the mind. They're illusions. It's like being in a dream that you believe absolute that dream is real. You're in that dream. And you say to yourself, this is real, this is not a dream. You say it right in the dream. Then maybe you just don't really like how the dream is and you want to wake up from the dream, but you seem to say, I can't wake up because this is real. But yet, it is an illusion. Just like these lives we have are an illusion. Just like these bodies we're in are an illusion. Now, for some, that's very difficult to comprehend. But others, out of our curiosity, our childlike curiosity, find it fascinating and keep moving into it to discover its validity. So when we begin to accept that understanding, because we have literally verified it through our heart minds, that's called mastery. What would you do what will you do when you discover that all of this is an illusion created by the mind? And guess what? The mind is an illusion. If we didn't have a mind or an ego in these bodies, how would we learn? Be real strange, wouldn't it? So they come with the body. It's like an accessory. And it's a mandatory accessory. So you can't order the body without it. And it's always the breath. Always the breath. To be in the now is always the breath. Breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. It isn't anything else. It is the breath. And we take our breath for granted. We think that we don't need to focus on the breath. We think that the breath will do it itself. And it does. But as time goes by, as we forget more and more about our breath and take it for granted, then we don't breathe at times. And then we have issues. As these bodies deteriorate, we then have more issues. Because we don't focus on our breath, because we don't have time. Isn't this amazing? We don't have time to focus on our breath. And I've had people say that to me. I don't have time to focus on my breath. That's silly. You know, my lungs work and the breath will do it, and that's fine. Focusing on the breath is absolutely paramount in this journey, in these bodies. I mean, during the course of the day, breathing and focusing on breath in through the nose and out through the mouth throughout the day is absolutely paramount. It takes you into you. It moves you to the God that you are. I would say that's paramount. It relaxes the body. It focuses you in this life. It eases the stress, tension, and fear that you attract to yourself and create through the mind. It relaxes the body. It calms the body. And it is divine positive energy. It sustains the body that holds you, the God. so that we can experience disillusion. And when we look at the body, that we know we are not the body, but the body carries us. Through the center of the body, from the tailbone, top of the hand, are these lights. There are roughly 7 of them. And they're known as chakras. And chakra means wheel of lights. Now, these are spirit energy, etheric energy, so you can't pick them up and hold them and stuff. We, the gods that we are spiritual, etheric energy, pure energy. And does it make sense that we flow through these energy vortexes, these chakras, these wheels of light? And by doing that, we know these bodies through the God that we are, right down to the quantum quark. We know how fast the blood flows. We know how fast the heart beats and pumps. We know every aspect, every tissue, every fraction, every atom, every molecule of these bodies. Not only the body from the physical, organic, but the emotional as well. And all of that is frequency. All of it is frequency. When we discover who and what we are, we will begin to master the healing of these bodies instantaneously. We know that we're consciously aware. What does that mean? It means that we are consciously aware that we are of and from the highest. Of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love. Of and from the highest of the deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and peace. And we know that the soul, the God that we are, powers these bodies that we're in, generates breath, breathing, oxygen, which sustains the body that houses us. We also know that the soul is the heaven. The God that we are is the heaven, and the body is the earth. So heaven on earth. I mean, intimately understanding this. It's not a joke. And every step we take, we're creating paradise. Literally. And not only that, we have learned to shine our light, our God force, love, light, energy outward all the time. And this light is pure. The purest of the purest, pure, deepest of the deepest, deepest, and the highest of the highest, highest. Eternal love. Eternal gratitude. Eternal peace. And we're flooding all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, 24/7 on this planet, right now. Right in this now. So if you were to take a little jaunt, a little trip outside in outer space, outside the planet, you went out far enough to see the planet in its entirety as it glowed, you would notice that all the lights around it in this universe would pale in comparison. 8 billion gods glowing. Very, very spectacular. Very. Now picture in front of you, if you will, 3 circles. They're golden, shimmering, almost firelight. And there's one in the center, it looks brand new. There's one on the left, looks worn. One on the right looks worn. The one in the center is the now. One on the left is the past. One on the right is the future. Now, we all reminisce, we all have memories, which are great. They're phenomenal. We can experience them whenever we choose. good, bad, ugly. But we don't stay with them. We experience them, we visit them, and then we leave them. We have this big library in our subconscious mind where everything is stored since we entered these baby bodies. And from then to now and beyond, we absorb all of these thoughts that are not our thoughts. Now, others of us will go into a future that doesn't exist because we create the future in the now. And we ask ourselves questions, and we say, that's the one on the right, the pad on the right, the circle. And you say, well, when am I going to have a better job? When am I going to feel better, be healthier? When am I going to be happier? When am I going to have enough money? When am I going to be able to enjoy my life? When am I going to be able to stop worrying, stressing, and fearing? Now, the ones that go into the past that don't leave the past, that's the circle on the left, they stay in the past. That's like living in a graveyard, okay? It's dead, dank, living in a graveyard. And so what happens is that some people will take that past, they'll bring it into a future that doesn't exist, they'll create that future from that past, and they'll relive that past and that future. This is why there are people that will say, no matter what we do, we always end up here. And I'm not saying any of it's bad. It's just choice and confusion through the ego mind. Fear, which is an illusion. The now is all we have. It is so powerful that it stills the ego mind. It stills the mind chatter. It eases us, relaxes us, all through the breath. But how do we stay in it? Because none of us are exempt. So these thoughts that run by us all day long, 24/7, all these clouds in the sky floating by, superhighway, and we grab them. And we don't intentionally, they just come in, we take, and they carry us off. This is when being gentle, kind, generous, humble, and in deep gratitude, deep eternal gratitude is important for us. Because when this happens and we identify it and say, okay, so I've wandered off. I'll focus on my breath and I'll be in the now 3,000% of the time. And that's where we want to stay, in the now. Always. That's to master being in the now. This opens up the doorway within to the God you are. You're no longer wanting or having. You don't, those are not there. You desire, you know that desire will become a reality. It's like automatic. Now, we all know that we have parts of the gods that we are that are asleep. We also know that we have parts of the gods that we are that are awake, consciously aware to a certain extent. Now, the ones that are asleep are with us always. They just sit there asleep. They don't participate. They don't hear. Why would we need this endless journey if we were all fully awake on every angle, every aspect, everything? Now, we communicate with the parts of ourselves that are awake. And that's all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. That's the archangels, the cherubim, the seraphim, the archetypes. That's the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited, all the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, agartha, and beneath earth, all the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. These are in the Gugaplexes. One Gugaplex fills this universe with not even 1 inch of sacred space to spare. Now, the light energy beings, on this planet with the eyes with these bodies, we only see 1% of what is. So, all the light energy beings, shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations, we don't see. But we're familiar with some, and we have experienced a few. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur. Now the off-worlders, celestials, galactics. Over 1,000 species travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. We're familiar with a small, very minuscule group. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. This particular group's been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, they're a civilization that vibrate at a different frequency than we do. That's why we don't see them out and about interacting like we see each other, like we interact with each other. But we meet with them. We meet with them quite a bit in every lifetime. This one's no exception. And when we do meet with them, we do have a feeling, but it's not like, oh, you're an angel. It usually follows after the interaction, where it dawns on us and we say to ourselves that was an angel. And they have the same message, but it's delivered in so many different ways. Isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies, to taste, to smell, to feel, to breathe, to smile, to laugh, to cry? I mean, all of this is absolutely spectacular, wonderful, and that is bliss. Now, they can hold a large number in a small area. Tens of millions, tens of thousands. They can surround us at any one time. If you want them to surround you, ask them. They will, and that's bliss. Now, the Ascended Masters, they've mastered physical. They've mastered ascending into physical, and they've mastered physical and out of physical into pure consciousness. They hold pure consciousness God form. We have entered physical, and we are mastering physical. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creations. Now, we're all gathered, so to speak, arm in arm, hand in hand, hundreds of millions, from every direction, in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond and forever, consciously aware that we are of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal love, and of and from the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest eternal gratitude and peace. We're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance, bliss, joy, and peace. And we're all one. We're all love, and we're all God. And our God force love light energy isn't all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to intensify and it continues to expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the gods that we are within these bodies. The kingdom of God. The God source of which we all are. This light is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. We are flooding this planet in all life, the highest supreme value in this universe, in all extensions of universe. We begin to ascend above the planet, and we're immediately met with a massive ocean of glitter. Lights flashing everywhere, trillions, gigaplexes, multicolored, laser light show, ballroom globe of mirrors, trillion times more intense, flashing and sparking everywhere. We're curious, so we look at the reflective points and we see that they are perfectly etched microscopic mirrors. We enter those mirrors. We find that we all of us, all life, are learning and teaching and learning on a continual basis. Throughout it's endless. And no matter how life is housed, bird, leaf, tree, mouse, squirrel, bug, humanoid, we are learning all the time, teaching, learning, one or the other or both. And when you do take the time and focus within and watch this miracle, you will begin to understand how it is you that has created it all. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light. This is a column of light that we created of Archangel Raphael that reminds us all that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light we created to remind us all of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We're then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with the white fire armor. Nothing on this planet, no armor, compares even close to it. Now this emanates from the God force love light energy within us all. Pure, deep, eternal love. It can't be penetrated by lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. It cannot be manipulated, tricked, drained. No demon possession, no attachments, nothing. Nothing can harm us. This is a God love frequency. It cannot be penetrated. And they know that. These lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies will not even come near us. They'll vaporize. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency consciously or unconsciously, through anger, hatred, fear, greed, revenge, hurry, envy, manipulation, stress, fear, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. Now, if you decide to do this, you're immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of this double column is the purple transmuting flame. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are no more, gone for good. With the second part of this column of light is the violet ray. We created this column of light to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest. Eternal love, gratitude, peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods within these bodies, that we truly are, that we are the sun light. The sun sets, the sun rises, the rain, the rainbows, the trees, the forests, soils, sky, clouds, oceans, rivers, lakes, and streams, mountains. We are everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise or a snowfall, starry-lit night sky, it is you. It is the God within that body. You're the beauty. You're the majesty. You're the divineness. You always have been. You always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. So when you look at it and you say, how beautiful is that? You miss the point. You say, that is me. I am that I am. That snowfall is me. Sounds a little strange at first. As you'll begin to embrace it and know that it is. We continue to descend above the planet. As we do, we come into full contact with this massive crystal light tower. We created this tower. It is larger than the solar system and beyond. It's just massive, of course. In the center of the column is this massive oblong sphere. Center of the sphere is a golden white ball of light. The golden white ball of light is surrounded by multicolored rings or ribbons. And they're all emitting this beautiful wave of misty, electrified cloud that comes over us and absorbs into us. It's like a warm embrace that never ends. And the golden white bowl of light, we find, is the highest of the highest high and the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then we have gratitude, peace, as the rings come in. We have well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness. We have blessed joy. We have great wealth, great abundance, great prosperity, tranquility, benevolence. It's endless. And then we discover that all of it is a reflection of the God that we are in these bodies. It is us. Now, at the top of this tower, we design it so the golden ocean can come cascading down 24/7, as it's doing right now. And what is the golden ocean? It is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And it's been flooding us eternally. All life, high supreme value universe. We are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. The only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We created this sphere. Moving towards 4 years ago, holds over 1,600 of our meditations in perpetual motion. Every day. Hundreds of millions of us on and off world. Highest of the highest high of intents. Flooding this planet, increasing the vibrational frequencies everywhere. And remember, each of us influence millions. We affect millions. That's why this meditative sphere can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And the meditations don't wane, disappear, dissipate, lose their light energy. They do the opposite. They expand, intensify, get stronger. You can feel it. This moment contains the very experience you've been searching for your whole life. So what are you waiting for? Do not hold back today, no matter what. Go for it. Let go of hesitation and procrastination. And you have just opened up your vibration to receiving unlimited possibilities. Join you in the meditation and return to close us out. take an easy breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. Move easily and slowly. When one person lives every day from what their true infinite potential is, an amazing shift will happen for everyone. A contagious reaction of a new consciousness will occur, and our whole planet will wake up. Everyone will experience themselves as this infinite source. Believe it or not, the one person to start this chain reaction is you. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, October 24th, 2021, to continue our Global Guided Meditation call. And I will be on the PAO webinar tomorrow. You can go to PAO.com and sign up for it. I have some things I'm going to share on there that are needed to be shared.